Okay, hello, you guys. It is Ebony. It is I. I just came from the gym and I'm so tired and so energetic at the same time. And it might just be because of who I'm going to talk about, Miss Trim. Okay, I keep saying I'm trying to hop on that pole and she get like no tomorrow. We're going to talk about Miss Trim. So we're going to hop in. I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated in my giveaways, everyone who patronizes me. Like, I really appreciate you guys. I love you so much. Love you so much. Okay, but we're gonna get straight into Trim. The very first thing is she's very young. I think she just turned 20 years old. The very first thing I feel like is she probably misses home. Like, I don't know why it's coming through so strongly, but I heard that she's from South Carolina. I heard that she's Gullah Geechee, and I heard that she's from South Carolina. I don't know if she spent the entirety of her life in South Carolina or that's just like the place that she calls home, but she could really miss where she's from, especially if she's 20. This might be someone who I don't know that she still like actually lives there. But this might be someone who will not go home or will not live at home for like this might I don't know if this is up to a decade or like, she's like up to a decade she's just traveling so much that she's never really able to spend an extensive amount of time there. It might be like, oh, I spent a month here or I got to spend a week there, but she doesn't necessarily live there anymore or she won't live there again for a long time. This might even be like she feels like she's been away from home too long, but yeah. She feels very energetic. Cupcakes are coming through. She almost feels like the word celibate is coming through. Um, she feels like a little kid who you just gave a cupcake, so she could be having a sugar rush. I think that she's really excited where her career is at, and she's really excited to move up. And the word skyscraper is also coming through. She doesn't really have any facial piercings. I don't think she has facial piercings. I don't think she even has a nose piercing, but she might be getting some of those soon. And it might be on the face. I get dermal, so this could be. I don't really see like cheek dermal. It might be like an eye dermal. I can also even see like back um piercings. This might even be like tattoos or just some interesting body mods. This might even be like body paint. I'm honestly thinking of Megan and Mamushi, how she had that tattoo like drawn on her back. But yeah. Does she have a white boyfriend? Does she ever mess with? I almost get this energy of like a white Hispanic man. I don't know if she likes a white boy right now or she's really into a white boy. Like, this might be someone who's actually white. This might be literally, like I said, a white Hispanic or someone who is ethnic but is on the fairer side. This is very Justin Bieber energy. This might even be somebody who she's gonna work with for some reason, because I'm thinking of Ira Star. I don't even remember the other person, but she was worked on a song that's called Mon Bebe. I with this guy who's like French, but I don't know if like ethnically he's white or if he's from a different place, but that's just coming through. So I don't know if this is someone she's gonna work with. I don't know if this is someone she works with that she has a crush on or someone she just has a crush on. Like, I'm crying because I have this Luffy shirt on. I have this Luffy Gear 5 shirt on. And mind you, Luffy is coded as Brazilian. So like it's definitely giving white Hispanic. Maybe he's like half or something. I don't know. One thing I will say is I think Trim, to be very respectful, I think her dreams are kind of small. And when I say that, like, this is the kind of person who I think that she would be happy if she won a Grammy, but I don't think that her goal is necessarily to have these huge awards. I think to her it's like, I want to perform and I want to make money. Like, this is someone who I think, like, if she got a BET award, for example, she would be so grateful, and I don't think that she would aspire to more than that. I don't think she's small minded. I just think I almost want to say realistic. I just think that she Huh. Like, I just think that she's very grateful for whatever opportunity that she gets. I think the exposure that she has, it's enough. Of course, like, everybody wants more, but I really don't think this is someone who's just like, if I don't get it, like, you know how Nicki Minaj is like, fuck everybody. I don't have a Grammy, fuck everybody. My album doesn't go number one, fuck everybody. I don't think she's one of those people. I think it's one of those things where it's like, if she posts a song and it goes viral, that's enough. She's not necessarily looking, oh, did I have 20,000 people buy the single? Don't really care about that, right? So I feel like because she's so realistic about her expectations, especially of her size, she's very happy all of the time, or she's very satisfied with what she has. Like I said, it might be that she wants more, but I don't think that she ever looks at what she has like it's not enough, or I have to, like, I have to go harder. Like if I keep performing or making money at this rate, I will always be good. I don't necessarily need anything else. I'm honestly thinking about Chapo Rondo, but she could end up quite big, even if this was just like for an era or for a year. She could definitely be someone who's at the pop forefront. Not that she literally reminds me of Megan, but Megan is up there. She just kind of established herself as like literally the front of the pack. So she's definitely going to have, even if it's not an era, she's definitely going to have a moment. Sorry, even if it is just an era, like I said, it might be a year or two. But she's definitely going to be at the like top billing, like very much so. I'm honestly not literally like Fetty Wap, but there was one point in time where his name was really just like ringing bells. Like, yeah, he was up there. She could be about to drop something that's gonna change her life. Like for example, like Nicki Minaj got on with like Itty Bitty Piggy. Like imagine, okay, we're gonna put it like this. Let's say Trim is like in her Itty Bitty Piggy era, right? Where it's like you're quotable and you're cool, but you haven't really proved yourself. She could drop something soon. I'll say within the next year. I want to say this could be very soon though. I don't know if this is gonna be her very next drop, but she could drop something that's gonna be like her equivalent of super bass that could send her, like I said, that could put her on a level where she's kind of unreachable or unbeatable or really considered like a household name. Because for example, we haven't, like, we see Trim on social media, we know her songs, right? But I don't think she's even gotten, like, for example, like a late night perform. Like she's never I don't think she's ever been on TV performing anywhere. So it could be something like that where it literally takes her to a new height where she's a lot more visible. Something about New York is coming through. I wonder if she could have a very good management team, or they're very, very well connected, and so they can get her in places. This might be some new people, or it's just the people that she has around are taking new avenues, or maybe they strike new deals. I will also say I don't think she's necessarily going to get pregnant like tomorrow, but because the thing about it is, I can see her having a child, but like if she's 20 now, I think this is someone who's definitely going to have a child before they're 30. I'm not gonna lie, she honestly gives me before, like by 25 or before. I'm not gonna lie. I think she's gonna wait a couple years, but at most, like this, at most, it could be anywhere from 2 to 5 years. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened sooner. I don't think she's gonna be like 21 and pregnant, but I could definitely see like 22, 23, 24, 25, depending on how old she is, right? I actually think it's quite. I think, hmm, I think being a mother is quite important to her. I'm not gonna lie, she could be one of those people who ends up having a child who's more successful than her, or ends up going on to do big things. For some reason, I'm actually very specifically thinking of, and I this is so specific. I'm thinking of Tiny, like Ti and Tiny, like Tiny Harris, like Miss Tamika Harris from Escape. So she could be. I mean, Tiny doesn't have any children who are. I don't think, to be fair, like Escape wasn't a huge group in the '90s, but they always sold, right? But I don't think any of Tiny's children are necessarily surpassing her in fame in terms of specifically their music careers. But for some reason, she's coming through. Like, but she does. I will say that she has multiple children who do make music. So like it could be something like that. But she something about her child that is going to be very significant. And so, um, mind you, like I don't know why I'm hesitating to say this. I would personally, although I'm pro chop shop, even though I'm pro chop shop, I definitely do not sling the words like abortion around easily. Like I don't think that you should just go up and not have a baby just because you're 22. If you're in a place where you're comfortable and you really want that child, you should have it. I hope this liquoring is not too much to you guys, but yeah, you should definitely go have your baby. I would just say with her specifically, I don't know if she's ever had to terminate a pregnancy. I just feel like whenever she gets pregnant next, especially if she feels very good about it or she's had a very happy time in her life, I would tell her actually to have that baby. I don't ever want to put pressure on anyone if it's something that you don't want to do. If you don't want to have the child, you don't have that baby. I'm just saying that I think that she could be somebody who's going to end up having very famous kids, or their child is just going to be her child is going to be a very positive influence in the world. I honestly feel like this could be a boy, if you ask me. But I don't know if this could be a boy and a girl. I don't. Oh my god, I can't say that her child will be gay, but I don't know. That's why I'm like, that's crazy. But I don't know if this is a child with very feminine energy, or like women just really love him, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of a good example. But like, for example, let's say that your mama was Diana Ross and you Tracy Ellis Ross. Tracy is like, huh. Is Tracy like a beauty symbol? I don't know. I don't really want to get into the debate somebody's looks, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like one thing she's not a bad looking woman, so we'll put it like that. This could be someone who's like a womanizer, or he's just he honestly, the energy of the child gives me almost like Lenny Kravitz, like very nice to look at, right? Not even to be weird. I just think that he's going to be very beloved for his looks, are very beloved by women, whether this is like whether he likes women, or women just really like him, or like it's very not he doesn't give me Saucy Santana energy, but like I said, it could be that he gets along with women well, where he has some level of feminine energy, right? Someone, I don't know if you can hear, someone just drove by and they're playing Billie Jean, and that's what I mean. Where it's like, you see how Michael Jackson almost had he has like a feminine thing about him. He's not super super masculine, so that's what I'm saying. Like very, but also very beloved by women. That song is literally about a woman being obsessed with him to the point where she's lying about paternity. But there you go. I think Trim can be very successful, but I'm gonna also be honest. I do think right now she's very content. And there's nothing wrong with that. I do want to say that I would tell her to beware of laziness, of getting too comfortable, or too content in where she's at. And this is not even talking down on her gratefulness. This is more just like, oh well, I already made enough money this year, so I don't necessarily need more. You don't necessarily need to aim for the sky, but you definitely need to keep on clocking into work. Like, this is not okay, well, I'm at a place where I can take 6 months off. Hell no. You, like, at this point, no. Like, no. Like, you got you 3 4 5 years before you can comfortably take a break for that amount of time. I just feel like she might get yes, complacent. She might get a little bit complacent. Because she's grateful, but I do think that the timing of her putting out work might be affected a little bit. I also wonder if she's sitting on a song that she doesn't think will go well, or she thinks it's a little bit different. Because the one thing about Trim, people also compare her to Nicki Minaj a lot. So I don't know if she wants to do something that is very her, like, it, like, for example, like Megan Thee Stallion has never really had a phase where she sounded like Nicki Minaj. Although a lot of people are inspired by Nicki Minaj, and there are a lot of Nicki sons. Megan specifically has never really had one of those. I wonder if Trim is sitting on something, like maybe she's already recorded this, but she's like, I don't know if the people will like this, or X, Y, and Z is doing good, so I don't know if I want to put this out. But I think she's going to start sounding a lot like herself. Like, she didn't, like, because and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, when you first get on, you're imitating the people that you like or you came from, but at some point you have to be yourself. I think that she's wondering, will people like me if I'm not necessarily like this Nicki variant? And I do think that they will like it a lot, but I think that she's keeping it hidden because she doesn't necessarily think so, or she thinks that she has to be one track minded. But I don't think has she released an EP? Has she released an album? Like, you're so early in your career, it is the perfect time to experiment. And it's also just like, if you put out one song people don't like, perform that bitch to the ground and then get right back. Like it's like Beyonce and Run the World Girls. Like, that was her lowest charting single ever, but she performed that shit like it was number one. And then the very next era was self-titled, and that's what I mean by work with it. I think it will be successful, but work with it even if it's not, and then it will pivot you to something that's going to be way more successful because you took the risk. At least you understand what people don't like or what you can improve from what failed, right? The words emotional and excited just came through. I do feel like she could, I don't know if she could put out something that's very, very high energy or very fun, like twerking music. Like, I keep hearing, I'm trying to hop on that pole and shake it like no tomorrow. But yeah, I do think she's gonna have a breakout with something that is quite different than what she's put out. But I think people are gonna like it a lot. They're gonna, like I said, they're gonna feel like you actually sound like Trim. You actually sound like yourself, and we fuck with that. I will also say, I don't know if this white Hispanic man is one of her friends, or she could just have a relationship with one of her friends that's going to escalate, that's going to go really well for her. But I want to say, I don't really like friends to lovers. I do not believe in that shit. But I do want to say that she might have one of those successful pivots. So, like, let's say hypothetically, this person who I had in mind, maybe they're her producer, but they're like her friend, just hypothetically, right? And then she was like, you know what, I do like him, or we do flirt or whatever. So, like, let me just do that. Honestly, it gives me, like, I'm not gonna lie, it gives me Ice Spice and Riot. So it might not necessarily literally be her producer, but it kind of gives he's in her circle. So whether or not he has fame, whether or not he's actually part of her crew, this is definitely someone who I don't think is black, who she's interested in, um who they would have a relationship with. I almost feel like this might be the person who fathers the child, but anything can happen, right? I also wonder if she could get married to this person, but she might get married very like Mona Leo and Stunna. They might get married after they have children. So especially because Mona Leo was in a very similar situation. She was quite young when she had her baby. 2 3 years later is when she finally gets married, right? Okay, this is very brief. I'm just gonna keep it like that. I love her energy. She's super sweet. She's super fun. I think she's such a bubbly, bouncy ball of energy, and I think she's gonna continue to be that. One thing I will say is that I think that she's so on the rise that, like, like the word meteoric rise, like meteoric rise to fame. So I think that she's gonna go up a different level. I think with her, there's not much in the dark that needs to be seen, because I think her career is gonna play out in a way where she becomes big. I'm not saying that she's necessarily going to be the next Nicki Minaj, but she could, in a sense, where it's like she comes up and she just has this distinct style that's different from everybody else, that people just note her, yeah, note her. um but yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Like I said, let me know if you guys have any more questions about her. I almost feel like I'm gonna revisit this one day, but we'll see. We'll really see. Anyways, Trim, I fucks with you, bitch. I'm trying to hop on that pool and shit get like no tomorrow.